Okay, I've had many parents do this, and this isn't that complex. Okay, your daughter started out in public school up until age grade or up until grade four. You've been homeschooling her and will continue up until grade eight. She is currently in grade seven. Your plan is to put her back into public school for high school. It's a county vocational school, and she wants to take cosmetology. She is diagnosed with dyslexia, dysgraphia, and slow processing speed. Her evaluation was done privately when she completed grade two. We originally had the school evaluate her, but they didn't find her eligible. After her private evaluation, the school then did find her eligible, and she had an IEP under SLD, specific learning disability, and her last IEP was in grade four. Okay, the vocational high school, so that means that you pulled her out, in grade four, and now she's grade seven, so that's 3 years ago. All right, so the vocational high school has entrance exams. They use STAR. Okay. But when she takes the entrance exam next year, she won't be a registered student. So do you think they will still follow her last IEP and provide accommodations, which would be extended time and a reader? Now, I'll go over that, okay? And her last evaluation was obviously more than 3 years ago. Does that matter? And I'm going to touch on that. You were under the impression that she would get accommodations, and if they accept her, they would reevaluate her when she becomes a full-time student. And also, she would get a new IEP. Not sure if there's different laws on this, different states. You're in New Jersey. Homeschooling laws are surprisingly very easy to follow. They are where we live as well. They don't require any testing or samples of any sorts. What are my thoughts? Okay. Look, if you're planning to reintroduce her into a public school setting this coming August, then I would start now. I would reach out to your school system special education department. They have her records on file. It might be a little over that 3 years. They have an option. Okay, they can do one of two options. They can either do what's called an initial eligibility, like treating as though she needs to be re-identified, as though they don't know her, they've never known her before. That's sort of an asshole move, but I mean, some schools do that. Typically, if she's in the system, they'll do what you called or what is called a reevaluation. I think that's the easier route to go because she's already in the system as a child that has been identified in the past. And so the only difference between a reevaluation and initial eligibility is the timeline. There's 60 strict days here, okay? A reeval, there's no specific timeline. It's a little bit more relaxed with regards to time constraints. But see, she's already been identified in the past. And so here, this is under the auspices that she's never been evaluated, and they don't know who she is. But in your daughter's case, she's in the system as having a prior IEP. Okay. No, they would not take that IEP from the fourth grade. They would not use it. They would not consider it. You would need the reevaluation completed before her enrollment. Now, if a school system says, well, you need to re-enroll her, that is not true, okay? You tell them your intent on re-enrolling her for the 8th grade, but we need to do a reevaluation now in order to understand what accommodations that were in place then that she might need for her entrance exam for the high school, okay? And they may end up saying, oh, well, yeah, we'll give her those, whatever. I mean, you'd be surprised at how lax or how chill some of these administrators and personnel are. They're not ogres, most of them, okay? It's just that most parents don't understand the rules. And so if they don't understand the rules and they don't understand that technically, really in a lot of ways, it's purposefully ambiguous and purposefully malleable, okay? It's the reason that is because this is an individualized process, and if it's truly individualized, well, we can't sit there and fit every kid into a box. So there's got to be some flexibility in there. There are some hard rules. Okay, she's not in the school anymore. There's not an active IEP, so yes, there does need to be a reevaluation. Now, at the same time, she has her diagnosis. So even with her diagnosis, if they sit there and they say, well, she doesn't qualify under SLD, that does not mean that she wouldn't qualify for a 504. And a 504 would be for accommodations and for equal access, okay? So you got both. But you can go ahead and start this process now. In fact, I encourage you to start this process now and put your daughter on their radar so that there can be a lot of pre-planning. And if you do it now, before you knocking on the door of March, this is sort of the natural time that people, do their IEP season for next school year. And so it's a perfect time to sort of fit into that and get everything in line long before August comes around. You don't want to wait until she's re-enrolled, and you don't have to because, child find, and even though this is a reevaluation, she's been out of the district. So it is their ongoing responsibility to locate and identify the children within the geographic boundary of your public school that might be in need of special education services, and that would be your daughter. So you don't have to re-enroll her in order to, right now, in order to get that process started with regards to the reevaluation. All right? And if they go, well, yes, you do, then confidently say, no, you don't, under child find. And I know technically she's not an initial eligibility, but technically, until we re-identify her and re-qualify her, then we must treat her as though she's a child find. Okay? Gosh, I teach you a whole course on this, guys, but I'm telling you, try to sit there and explain some of these little nuances in there on what child find is and why it's so applicable here. It takes a lot of time. But I've given you enough basic information to start that process now. Start it now. And you'll find out, you'll probably end up finding out it's far more relaxed than what you are thinking it is. Okay? Okay, good luck. I'd like to hear what ends up happening.